Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Technology Mafia. In this video I'm going to do a comparison between 4 sets of around ear headphones. And this is somewhat of a mix-up. You have 3 Sony headphones and then you got a pair of Bose around ear headphones. So what I'm going to do is I'll start out by dividing this review into a couple of sections. So the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about specs on each of these. Then we'll talk about build, comfort, the weight of each headset, and then the sound, and lastly we'll talk about price. So first pair of headphones first is these. These are the familiar, if you guys have watched my last video, these are the Sony MDR-XB500s. Here they are. So the specs on these, the drivers are 40 millimeters. They cover a range of 4 to 24,000 hertz, 40 ohms to power, and they're sensitive to 104 decibels per milliwatt. So fairly sensitive and fairly easy to power at 40 ohms. So those are the first pair. Second pair are these Bose around ear. Here they are. So Bose actually, interestingly enough, does not release specs on its headphone products. I don't know why. I think that's a bit strange. But anyway, the only thing that I could find is that these are 38 ohms to power. So they should run off of your iPod and iPad and smartphone just fine. The next pair of headphones over here are the Sony MDR-XB950. So this is what they look like here. Now the specs on these are 40 millimeter drivers. In fact, all of these headphones have 40 millimeter drivers, excuse me. Apart from the Bose, I'm not sure how big those drivers are. So this one covers 3 to 28,000 hertz, 24 ohms to power, and 106 in sensitivity. So spec-wise, this is better than the XBR or XB500, excuse me. The last set of headphones is this. These are the Sony MDR-10R. And the specs on these: 40 millimeter drivers. Range it covers is 5 to 40,000 40,000 hertz. 40 ohms to power and 100 decibels per milliwatt for sensitivity. So these are the last ones. Okay, so those are the specs, and so I mean, based on the specs, you should be able to tell which one of these headphones is going to be the best, but in reality you probably won't be able to guess just based on specs. So build quality. I would rate the build quality of the XBR or XB500, excuse me, out of 4 out of 5. They're all plastic. I mean, they're all plastic construction. You guys have seen these in videos before. They're very soft padded, but I've had these for 4 years, no issues. They've never broken on me. No wire. These aren't wires that you can replace or disconnect, but I haven't had any issues with build quality on these, so fairly sturdy. Bose, they feel light. They feel less sturdy than they are, I think. However, they flex, and you really shouldn't have any issues whatsoever with these. The ear pads, you could see, are a little worn. That's pretty typical of these Bose around ear headphones. You'll see that leather synthetic, I don't know if it's real or not, tends to crack a little. This one does have a headphone, the cord I should say is replaceable, so if that ever breaks or rips, then you can purchase a new one. But I would rate these at same thing, 4 out of 5. The XB950s, these are actually more substantial. They feel sturdier than the XB500s. They're all plastic. I mean, there's a few metal bits here, but it's all of plastic construction. However, I'll tell you that this mechanism of locking the headband feels feels stronger. I mean, feels more high-end. Ear cups, this leather is nice. I mean, these are relatively new, so there's that. But I would rate these the same. In fact, I'd probably rate all of these headphones. Not a single pair of these stands out over the other as far as build quality. The MDR-10R, these are supposed to be the nicer of the whole bunch. So the build quality on these, it's very smooth. I mean, I'll tell you that. So these cups rotate versus some of the, like these cups don't rotate. These ones do, those ones do. This one feels smooth. Even though it's all plastic, you know, all of these pieces are plastic, this is plastic, it feels like it's a well-built headphone. This cord is detachable, so that's a difference. The XB500s and the XB950s do not have detachable cords. So moving on to comfort, I would rate the XB500s a 5 out of 5. These are awesome headphones, super comfortable, simply because of these pads that are like pillows on the side of your head. They are awesome. If you haven't tried a pair of these on, try them. They're awesome. I would rate these, actually the Bose headphones are up there, 5 out of 5. These are, I don't want to say they're more comfortable than the XB500s, but in a way they are, simply because they're lighter, and so you put them on and you forget that they're on your head. So if you are looking for a pair of headphones like that, I'd highly recommend these, because you will forget that you are wearing them. These XB950s, they're heavier. They're not as comfortable. I'd say out of this group of four, they're the least comfortable on my ears. My ears do fit into the cups, however, they just feel a little heavy on the top, and the sides kind of feel a little bulky. I mean, they're comfortable, but they're just not as comfortable. So I'd rate these at a 4 out of 5. Last pair of headphones, these are nice. They're still not up there as comfortable as the Bose or the XB500, so 4 out of 5 for these. Still very comfortable headphones. These are a little lighter than the XB950s. In fact, I have my scale here, so what I'll do is I'll weigh each of these, and I'm just going to weigh the headphones. Reset here. So I'm not going to weigh the cords. So XB500s are 6.6 ounces. The Bose, maybe set there. Bose headphones are 5 ounces even. The XB950s are 8.4 ounces. And the last one, the MDR-10R, come in at, let me see, at 6.8 ounces. So as you could tell, the lightest one of these headphones is the Bose headphones, and they are the most comfortable. Second lightest, XB500s. Second most comfortable. Third most comfortable would be the 10Rs. And last would be the 950s. So we'll move on. Sound. This is where things get interesting. So I guess I'm going to start with the Bose as far as sound, simply because I think that a lot of people have tried some version of these headphones. So these are the Bose around ear headphones. They're also called the AE2, which is what these are. The SoundTrue, Bose SoundTrue headphones are actually the same thing. They're just rebranded with some slight improvements. So the sound of these, I'd say out of the 4 of these headphones, the Bose are the most studio monitor reference type style headphones, meaning they have a flat sound, meaning, you know, that the bass isn't exaggerated, the trebles aren't exaggerated. These probably have the strongest mids out of the group as well. You know, the old saying goes, no highs, no lows, must be Bose. that sort of reigns true with these headphones, because you do get a lot of mids, and it's flat in the other ranges. Not a bad thing necessarily, especially if you're, you know, editing video, doing something like that. I found that the sound out of these Bose headphones is not fatiguing, which is a very good thing. So you can put them on and wear them for hours upon hours upon hours without worrying about you know, your ears just hurting from the sound that's coming through them. So they're not, I mean, they're not as good as another pair of headphones in this comparison, but sound wise I would say that these are a 4 out of 5, and better than 2 of the headphones in this group. So the MDR-XB950, let's talk about those real quick. So if you love bass and all you love is bass, I would recommend these headphones over all of the others. The bass in these headphones it vibrates your ears. I mean, that's how big it is. I mean, you feel the bass. So the bass is thumping with these. What about the rest? Unfortunately, there's not much else there. The rest of the sound signature, as far as mids and highs, treble, is just muddy. I mean, it's just not there. Music isn't detailed. It is great to just hear the thump. However, the rest of it, I mean, the vocals, they're so subdued and they're so quiet in comparison. You find yourself turning these headphones up to hear the vocals, which in result only adds more bass and adds just more noise to the whole thing. I mean, you know, you don't get any of the clarity. So if you're comparing clarity, I mean, the Bose headphones are 2-3 times as clear, in my opinion, in comparison to these Sonys. I'm pretty disappointed with these. I mean, these really should only appeal to those who care about bass and don't really care about anything else. So those are the MDR-XB950s. We'll move on and we'll talk about the XB500s. How do these compare? So you guys saw that I did a video on these earlier. These are awesome. Out of the 4, these by far, without question, have the best sound quality. People talk about soundstage, and I think that's an important thing to mention. So the soundstage with these headphones is so wide in comparison to everything else. There's very good separation of the bass and the mids and the highs that really cannot be matched by these headphones over here. You have the bass thump. I mean, the bass in these is not as heavy, not nearly as heavy as the bass in the XB950s. However, the clarity in the bass is, I mean, it puts these headphones to shame. And in addition to the clarity in the bass, you have clarity in the high notes and clarity in the mids. I mean, I think that the one weak point with these headphones is probably the mids. That's where the Bose kind of steps up, and in the mids I'd say the Bose are the better sounding headphones. But I really like the V-shape kind of sound signature, so I like a bit of clarity in the treble, and then less in the mids, and then more in the bass. So for those reasons, I really like how these headphones sound. So the last pair is by far the biggest disappointment out of the group, and that is the MDR-10Rs. Now, these headphones, I had very, very high hopes. I thought these would be the best headphones out of the group, and they were not. They are not. So how do I describe the sound of these? They sound congested, I think is a good way of putting it. It sounds like all of the sounds are funneled through some thick wool. I mean, there's clarity. There's very little to no clarity with these headphones, in my opinion. So in the highs, you can't hear them. So they're not there. In the mids, they're not there. In the bass, I mean, there is bass, but it's not as strong as the XB950, so it's less. I'd say the bass volume is probably on par with the XB500s. However, the clarity, the snappiness of it is not there. It's very muddy. It's a muddy bass. But the biggest thing for me about these headphones is that you know, they take a little bit more to drive, so you find yourself cranking up the volume. Now all of these, again, I tested with my iPod, and then I tested through a tablet. So they take a little bit more to drive, so you find yourself cranking up the volume to hear anything, and when you do, you're just disappointed, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. I mean, these are 4 years old, 5 years old. These are only a couple years old. I don't know what happened, but these headphones are not nearly up to the standard of the XB500s. I mean, I would rank these headphones in the order that I have them laid out here. XB500s by far the best sounding out of the bunch. Bose, surprisingly, in second place. And that's not saying that they're great sounding headphones. I think that they're decent sounding headphones. But it just goes to show how poor these two headphones are. You know, the XB950s excel only in bass, but it's still not a crisp, clean bass. And the 10Rs are just sad. I mean, I wanted to like these headphones. They're relatively comfortable. They have the detachable cable. They look good. So for all those reasons, I wanted to like these the most, but I really do not like them. So last thing that we'll talk about is price. So XB500s, new, these were $50, now $250 because they're rare and discontinued. So if you're looking for a pair of these, unless you're willing to buy a used pair for about $90, you're going to be spending a bit for these. The Bose around ear 2s are about $150 new. Now the Soundtrue headphones now are, which are the same thing, just new packaging, are about $180. You can find these on sale. Sometimes they go, I mean, I've seen them at about $100, so you can find them on sale. The XB950s new are $120. Current price on Amazon is about $94. And the last pair, the 10Rs new, are $199, and currently they're going on Amazon for about $91. So that's a comparison between these four headphones. If you guys have questions about any of them, please feel free to leave them below. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, comment, and like this video if it helped you out. So thanks again for watching, and have a good one.